With the conclusion of the second truce on October 15, 1948, the conflict entered a phase marked by a decisive series of Israeli military operations aimed at consolidating territorial gains and securing borders. This period, known as the final push in armistice, was crucial for establishing the framework for Israel's statehood and achieving a more stable ceasefire. When Israeli forces launched Operations Yoav and Hiram, they moved decisively to secure both frontiers, shattering the Egyptian siege of the Negev, while simultaneously purging the remaining Arab forces from the Galilee. The third truce took effect on October 22nd, and Arab forces refused to recognize the ceasefire, persisting in their harassment of Israeli settlements and positions in the north. That same day, the Arab Liberation Army flagrantly violated the agreement by storming the IDF hilltop at Sheikh Abda and capturing it, successfully repulsing local counterattacks and ambushing Israeli relief columns headed for Manara. This engagement cost the Carmeli Brigade 33 lives and left 40 wounded. In response, the IDF launched Operation Hiram on October 24th. In a lightning campaign lasting only 60 hours, Israeli forces captured the entire Upper Galilee and drove the Arab Liberation Forces back into Lebanon, even ambushing and destroying a full Syrian battalion in the process. Despite resistance in several villages, the operation was a decisive success. Arab forces suffered an estimated 400 dead and 550 captured, while Israeli casualties remained low. By the month's end, the IDF had cleared the Galilee of all hostile forces and advanced 8 kilometers into Lebanese territory, reaching the Litani River. After consistent victories, both parties knew they were stepping into a new phase of the war and that the momentum had shifted. Yet the Arab countries weren't giving up, meaning the war wasn't yet over. On October 15th, Israel's goal was to fracture the Egyptian lines, isolate their strongholds, and reclaim control of the Negev, and by October 22nd, Operation Yoav achieved its defining victory, the capture of Beersheba, a strategic crossroad that shattered Egypt's ability to maintain its grip over the entire region. With this success, the Negev was effectively reconnected to the rest of the country, and the Egyptian army's northern positions were successfully cut off. Building on this strategic momentum, the IDF moved to decisively seal the victory throughout the harsh winter months, punching deep into the Sinai Peninsula to encircle the Egyptian army. This tactical masterstroke was halted not by the enemy, but by hypocritical international politics. Facing intense US pressure and blunt British military threats, Prime Minister Ben-Gurion was forced to withdraw. The double standard was glaring. Arab armies attacked with impunity, while the international community consistently choked Israeli victories. The campaign reached its historic conclusion in March 1949 with Operation Uvda, the final rapid dash to the south. This was a race against time and international diplomacy, as Israeli forces moved to establish facts on the ground before the final armistice could be signed. Navigating the treacherous and trackless expanses of the Arava, the Negev and Golani brigades pushed forward until they reached the shores of the Gulf of Aqaba. It was here, at the abandoned police outpost of al-Rashrash, that the iconic ink flag was hoisted, a crude, handmade banner that signaled the birth of Eilat. This final act secured the entire Negev down to the Red Sea, cementing the sovereign borders and ensuring Israel's vital maritime access to the east. When the dust finally settled in March 1948, the map of the Middle East had been fundamentally redrawn. What began as a desperate struggle for survival against 5 invading Arab armies concluded with an authoritative Israeli military victory that secured 78% of the former Mandate territory, exceeding the original borders proposed by the UN partition plan. Through the successful execution of Operations Hiram in the north and Uvda in the south, the IDF had not only repelled the invasion, but had carved out a contiguous and defensible sovereign state, stretching from the lush hills of the Galilee to the strategic waters of the Red Sea. The aftermath of the war established the Green Line borders through a series of armistice agreements with Egypt, Lebanon, Jordan, and Syria. While Israel secured the Negev, Galilee, and West Jerusalem, the agreements left the Gaza Strip under Egyptian occupation and the West Bank and East Jerusalem under Jordanian control. Israel suffered approximately 6,373 deaths, nearly 1% of its total population at the time, including some 2,400 civilians. Arab losses were even more severe, with estimates ranging from 10,000 to 15,000 dead across the various regular and irregular forces. For Israel, the achievements were monumental: the survival of the nascent state, the professionalization of the IDF into a premier regional power, and the integration of the Negev and Galilee into the national heartland. Ultimately, the War of Independence forged a nation, established the strategic bedrock of the modern state of Israel, and set the stage for the next century of Middle Eastern geopolitics.